जैसी मर्जी वैसा हुआ। मैंने अपने आप से कुछ नहीं किया, मैं करता नहीं हूँ। मैं इस बात को जानता हूँ कि मैं केवल साक्षी हूँ। मैंने कोई, आप जो कह रहे हैं ये सब बात सच्चाई नहीं, और मुझे कहीं कोई खेद नहीं है किसी भी चीज़ का। मैं फिर आपसे कह रहा हूँ, मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया है। मेरी बात पूरी होने दो। मैंने कुछ नहीं किया है। जो परमात्मा का जिस मूर्ति के सामने उन्होंने कहा था कि आप प्रेयर कीजिए, उसी परमात्मा का मुझे आदेश था। उसी आदेश के अनुसार एक्शन का रिएक्शन हुआ है, और कुछ नहीं है इसमें। हाँ, लेकिन 16 सितंबर को जब चीफ जस्टिस गवई की अदालत में एक PIL लगी थी, वो मेरी दायर की हुई नहीं थी, किसी और ने दायर की थी, मुझे उसका नाम भी नहीं पता। उन्होंने PIL दायर की थी कि भाई खजुराहो MP में, मैं भी वहाँ 3-4 दफ़े उस जगह जा चुका हूँ। वहाँ पर एक मूर्ति है 7 फुट की विष्णु भगवान की, जिसको आक्रमणकारियों ने, आक्रांताओं ने, जिन्होंने हिंदुस्तान पे कई बार आक्रमण किया, आप सब जानते हैं कौन थे वो। उन्होंने ज़्यादातर मंदिरों की मूर्तियाँ, ये खजुराहो ही नहीं, पूरे हिंदुस्तान की बहुत सी मूर्तियाँ आप देखेंगे तो मंदिरों को उन्होंने खंडित किया, अपवित्र किया। तो उसी से संबंधित एक PIL किसी विष्णु भगवान के भक्त ने लगाई थी कि CJI को कि आप ऑर्डर करके इसे रीस्टोर करा दें, सर लगवा दें, क्योंकि इतने समय से लोग देखते हैं और वाकई सब उस जगह से एक बहुत ही बुरा इम्प्रेशन लेके आते हैं और रोते हुए आते हैं। मैं तो रोता ही हुआ आता था। तो CJI ने क्या किया कि उस याचिकाकर्ता का वास्तव में मजाक उड़ाया, मेरे सनातन धर्म का मजाक उड़ाया, ये कह के कि तुम मूर्ति से कहो कि वही अपना इंतज़ाम कर ले कुछ। तुम इतने बड़े भक्त हो विष्णु के, तो तुम वहाँ जाके मेडिटेट करो, प्रेयर करो, वही अपना इंतज़ाम खुद कर लें। इतना ही नहीं, अन्याय ये किया इतनी बड़ी पद पे बैठ के कि उसको बेचारे याचिकाकर्ता की याचिका भी खारिज कर दी।
Now, hours after the incident, the Prime Minister himself spoke to Justice Gawai. He condemned the attack and said it was a reprehensible and condemnable act, an act that had angered every single Indian. The same view naturally was echoed by other members of the government, of the judiciary as well. But this condemnation did not stop the politics at all. In fact, far from it. What started yesterday was a massive political firestorm. Naturally, everyone did condemn the attack, but they said that this attack was not to be seen as standalone. It had been provoked by the caste that Justice Gawai belonged to. The Congress said that Justice Gawai had been attacked because he is a Dalit. Then it was said that far from being isolated, this incident was a sign of the times we live in, where Dalits are under wholesale attack by the BJP, the Modi government and their entire ecosystem. A case from Raebareli was also quoted to bolster this claim, where a Dalit youth, Hariom Valmiki, was killed by villagers on suspicion of being a thief.
जो घटना हुई है ये चिंता का विषय है और एक बड़ी घटना हुई है। गवई साहब दलित समाज से आते हैं और आप समझ सकते हैं जो व्यक्ति सर्वोच्च न्यायालय का मुख्य न्यायाधीश हैं माननीय गवई साहब, वो संवैधानिक पद पे बैठे हैं, आज वो सुरक्षित नहीं है।
चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया जो दलित समाज से आते हैं और वर्षों बाद कभी एक दलित जो है इस कुर्सी पे बैठा है, उसके ऊपर एक वकील ने जूता मारने की कोशिश की। घटिया कृत्य है, ज्यादा से ज्यादा आलोचना होनी चाहिए, बड़ी से बड़ी सजा मिलनी चाहिए। मगर क्या हो रहा है, बाकायदा एक तय तरीके से, एक ऑर्गेनाइज तरीके से राइट विंग ट्रोल्स सोशल मीडिया पे उस वकील को हीरो बना रहे हैं।
असलियत ये है कि ये इसका होना शायद इसलिए हो रहा है क्योंकि वो दलित समाज से आते हैं। मुझे कहने में कोई गुरेज नहीं है। रायबरेली में एक दलित को पीट पीट के मार दिया जाता है, अराजकता तो अपने आप को बाबा का आदमी बताते हैं, यहाँ पर एक दलित चीफ जस्टिस के ऊपर इतना बड़ा अटैक होता है। मुझे लगता है ये बहुत दिक्कत तलब है। इसकी जितनी बुराई, जितनी निंदा की जाए कम है। ऐसे व्यक्ति को सजा मिलनी चाहिए।
And that brings us to the big questions on which the buck stops here when the attack on the Chief Justice has been condemned by everyone across the board. What explains the caste politics being done around it? Have we forgotten that he is not the Chief Justice belonging to any one caste, community or sect? He is and will be the Chief Justice of India. Should this attack be seen in isolation, or is it really a sign of the times? Times of extreme scrutiny, of hurt feelings, and extreme reaction. Senior jurist Harish Salve joins us on the show today. Thanks very much, Mr. Salve, for speaking to us, because at this time it is also important to assess what the sane voices in the country and across the world are saying. First of all, sir, how do you assess the incident, the attack on the Chief Justice of India in court? Is it a reflection of growing intolerance in society, especially towards judicial independence?
I think the Chief Justice has acted with grace. This is not the first time it has happened. It's happened in the past. I think it was Chief Justice Gajendra Gadkar, at whom a litigant had hurled a shoe. Mr. Parasaran used to always tell us this story. When that happened, of course, the security came and caught him. And Chief Justice Gajendra Gadkar only said, please restore his shoe to him. He has lost his case. I don't want him to lose a shoe also. So judges have always treated this with equanimity and grace. The problem is, this man was not a litigant, he's a lawyer. And a lawyer has to conduct himself in conformity with certain basic standards. So the Bar Council has acted wisely and rightly and with alacrity in taking action. But I suppose that's where the matter must rest.
That's right. But sir, there is also a school of thought that judges in public domain are now like politicians. You know, whatever they do, whatever they say is up for scrutiny, whatever they, in fact, many of the cases also end up being extremely political. So the argument of people is that when you are going to make political statements, you are going to be up for scrutiny, and then you're also going to invite such reactions. What do you have to say to that?
See, what has gone wrong today, what is, firstly, and I won't say this has gone wrong. Firstly, the judges have on their plate all kinds of litigations, and partly they have taken on all kinds of things on their plate, some of which have political overtones, religious overtones. We can have, it's a debate for a separate day whether they should be doing some of the things they do or not do. Well, that's a separate debate. So they are in public domain, but the real problem is something else. The real problem today is the social media and these channels like Bar and Bench and Law Chakra and all. They are making free and fair discourse in the court very difficult. Judges and lawyers, when they are in the course of lawyers making submissions and judges asking questions or making comments, they are in a discussion mode. And sometimes judges' comments or sometimes the lawyers' submissions in the heat of the moment may provide fodder for this kind of cheap sensationalism that the media indulges in. I mean, I've heard so many times, expressions like judges ne fatkar lagai. Now, where you read the order of the court, it only says adjourned to so-and-so day. The judge has asked a question or the judge poses some sharp issues. Those are only questions to be answered and counsel respond to it. But this, you people being present there and, all these these online channels being present there, picking up everything which a judge says, picking up everything which a lawyer says, and then making that the subject matter of public debate, I think is interfering with the process of justice, and that is something which needs to be acted out. And I'll give you the latest example. In that Wangchuk's case, the Supreme Court entertained a petition by his wife. They issued notice. That's all that has happened in court. Yes, some submissions were made by the counsel for the petitioner. Some submissions were made by the counsel for the government. The court has not taken any view on the matter. It has only issued notice. Now, that's where the news ends. Beyond that is all sensationalism. Said so-and-so said this, and so-and-so said this, and so-and-so judge said this. That has to stop someday. And I hope that's really something which we all need to address. because it is this kind of a thing which then excites the misadventures of this kind with people who don't have the equanimity nor the maturity to accept the manner in which these comments are made and then behave in this fashion.
But should judges also be more sensitive? Is there a need for caution in the language that they use? Because at the core of this incident also lies
judges
the
have to be
claim
more
of
careful of what
hurt
they say in
religious
court.
feelings.
Lawyers always have to be more careful of what they say in court. The vocabulary of the Supreme Court has deteriorated. I have said this before and I am saying this again, but that's a matter of, again, a debate for a separate day. The kind of things which lawyers say to the judges and sometimes the kind of comments that the judges make were not something which we heard 20 years ago or 10 years ago. But anyway, that's a debate for a separate day. But I strongly hold the view that judges must be free to ask whatever question they want, say whatever they like, and a lawyer must be free to say whatever he likes without the fear of social media jumping onto his back, without the fear of these daily newsmongers jumping onto his back, taking one sentence of the lawyer or one sentence of the judge and playing it up as breaking news or some sort of... this is interfering. If we are all very cagey about what we say because some youngster sitting there working for some news channel will pick it up and blow it up, then neither will the lawyer be doing his duty nor will the judge be clearing the air.
But sir, what do you make of the commentary that we are seeing around this attack, where it is being said now that the Chief Justice was attacked only because he is a Dalit? That seems to
this
be
is the trouble.
now the overwhelming
this kind of an incident gets into the political domain and social media takes over. Then all these layers start. It's a Dalit Chief Justice, it is this. I mean, Justice Gajendra Garkar was subjected to a similar treatment. He was not from the Dalit community. So, these kind of things, this is a nonsense. There was a man whose behavior was atrocious. I call it atrocious because he's a lawyer. He should have known better, either for publicity or out of genuine anger or God knows what. He comes and flings a shoe at the Chief Justice. It's a ridiculous incident. It's the real purpose for this. The real thing which we can learn from all this is that sensationalizing comments of judges should be eschewed. Instead of learning that, we are getting into, was he a Dalit Chief Justice and that's why a shoe was hurled, or what did he say, or should we throw this man into jail, should we put him into imprisonment, should we deport him to some other country, send him to Mars, whatever. I mean, that's all a useless discussion. Why aren't we asking the real question? Why is this sensationalism being allowed, which leads to these kind of incidents?
No, and that's what...
And I remember, I believe,
because
Mr.
actually,
Sibal protested
sir,
and the Solicitor General protested. That this social media is creating all this problem.
No, absolutely. Any right-thinking person has protested against it, and you're absolutely right. Are we missing the woods for the trees completely, Mr. Salve? Thanks very much for bringing sanity to the discussion. Let me take this across to Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, editor ANI Smita Prakash, Sanjay Jha, political analyst, and that first question I'm putting to both Sanjay Jha and Advocate Nikhil Jain, both of them political analysts. You just heard Harish Salve. This was a person who was trying to work for his 10 seconds of fame, and you have turned it into a commentary, Sanjay Jha, on the state of India. The Prime Minister has condemned it. Every single person, Tushar Mehta, the Law Minister, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, I can't think of a single person who is saying that what happened was right and it was done because Justice Gavai is a Dalit. When did we go in that direction?
Well, I think, Padmaja, this is a serious debate, and I don't think we should treat it as just one episode. What we are witnessing, and this is the truth that nobody can deny, it's backed by hard data and enough episodes and instances, that we are seeing for the last 10 years an industrialization of hate in this country. You're seeing a normalization of violence. We have had an experience recently, I don't know whether it's made the headline it deserved, where a BJP spokesperson said that Rahul Gandhi could or should be shot. Did you see a condemnation coming from the top leadership of the Bharatiya Janata Party? I mean, there's an open call for an attack on a leader of an opposition party and the leader of the opposition. of someone who is one of the most visible faces against this government, a party person calls for violence against him. Have you seen a condemnation coming from the Prime Minister of India? These are the dog whistle politics of our times. And let me finish this point here. While we are discussing the attack, the unfortunate, tragic, and disgusting attack on the Chief Justice of India, which is sickening anyway, why isn't the brutal murder of that innocent, unfortunate Dalit victim in Raebareli the national headline? Wasn't he a human being? Wasn't he an Indian who deserved respect and dignity? We have now begun to treat death as a normal occurrence in our country. And I can tell you, Padmaja, you and I have been on television, I think, for donkey's years now. And I know you know it too. Bigotry has been normalized in our country. We are beginning to now live with the threats and violence and the FIRs and the threat to murder, women being told that they will be sexually attacked. I mean, what kind of a country are we becoming? I mean, this is an open call that tomorrow you will have a lone wolf out on an assassination trip. I mean, we should be worried as a country. I mean, honestly,
Sanjay Jha, very respectfully, I think you may really have taken quite a leap of faith there. First of all, who normalized the attack on the Chief Justice of India? Take one name.
I'm talking about over a period of time. I mean, again, you are missing the point altogether. You're missing the point. I'm talking about
I am very much to the point. I am very much to the point, because the moment we try and generalize and make these blanket statements, we run the risk of missing the specifics of each case and making a sweeping generalization where none exists. I am addressing the case today because all of today I have heard that India has gone to the dogs. Name one name of a person who has said that yes, what happened to the Chief Justice of India was a good thing, especially because he's a Dalit. Name one.
Okay, let me give you one example. I remember, I think you and I were on many debates when Muhammad Akhlaq was lynched to death. Do you know how many instances of lynching are going on as we talk?
Please, let's talk about this, because
does anybody even talk about them anymore? That's what I mean by normalization of hate.
Let's talk about Justice Gawai today. Sanjay Jha, no. Let's talk about specifics. No, Muhammad Akhlaq was never normalized because Muhammad Akhlaq, every single one of them who attacked him is still in jail. Many of them went to jail. Some of them got bail, but they all went.
I'm saying how many lynching incidents are the headline
not about Muhammad Akhlaq. Sanjay Jha, let me again bring you back to the point. Name one name of a person who has normalized, condoned, backed, celebrated the attack on Justice Gawai. Today we are talking about the wholesale attack on Dalits, whose face is Justice Gawai. Name one name.
I think, Padmaja, you have completely missed the woods for the trees. I'm talking about the fact that you believe that
I could actually say the same.
1 minute, let me finish.
Because I think
you are treating,
the
attack on Mr. Gawai, the Honorable Chief Justice, as an episode, as a happenstance. I'm saying it's a culmination of a period of violence and anger in this country that is being stoked not just on social media, but by politicians who are doing dog whistle politics. Am I clear now? Do you want me to repeat myself again?
But Sanjay Jha, when you're talking about a culmination, you have to assume that this was also driven by a sense of attacking him because somebody has got political backing and because he's a Dalit. I am again asking you, name one person who has condoned, backed, celebrated or normalized the attack on the Dalit Chief Justice of India. And actually, no, he's not the Dalit Chief Justice of India, he's the Chief Justice of India. Who has normalized it?
I think Padmaja, this is turning out to be tragically a very futile discussion with you, because I think your viewers have understood what I'm trying to convey.
Exactly.
I'm not expecting a BJP leader to come and condone it, because that will not be a politically correct thing to say.
No.
But there is an environment of hate in this country which has been encouraged by the ruling party of India.
Okay.
Everybody knows how minorities and the Dalits have been attacked by the ruling party for the last 10 years, 11 years. Everybody knows it. It's hardly a secret.
Okay, Shehzad Poonawala, what's happening to the Chief Justice of India in Delhi is happening to a young man in Raebareli as well. The difference is that poor man was poor, so he got lynched, he was killed. Justice Gawai is in front of us. It's all a trend.
Padmaja, I heard Mr. Sanjay Jha very patiently, and the problem with Sanjay is that he speaks his piece unendingly, but he interrupts when others are speaking. So I hope I have the commitment from him and from you that I will be allowed to speak my piece without interruption like I heard him. First of all, Padmaja, absolutely, there has been an industrialization of hate and normalization of violence. What better example than to quote Rajiv Gandhi, who said, "Bada ped girta hai to dharti hilti hai." What better example than to say that the OBC Prime Minister of this country, Lathi Dande Marenge, this was said by Rahul Gandhi. What better example कि Hitler की मौत मरेगा, कब्र खुदेगी मोदी की. And just 2 days ago, Telangana Congress MLA said कि Modi must die. What better example than this can be provided? And Mr. Sanjay Jha is absolutely right. Yeah, the case of Chief Justice of India is not isolated. Actually, Padmaja, 2 cases took place in the same date. One case took place with the Chief Justice of India, and everybody, right from Prime Minister, Law Minister, every Karyakarta of BJP strongly condemned it as a reprehensible act. But you know which other act also took place on the same day against a constitutional post holder? Mr. Khagen Murmu, a tribal MP, was beaten up black and blue and was bleeding. He was almost killed. And in that particular instance, Rahul Gandhi, who has also asked for Mr. Prime Minister to be beaten up with Lathi and Danda, did not utter a single word till now. Priyanka Vadra eloquently silent. By the way, those who are considering and seeing the constitutional positions as Dalit and tribal, etc., tribal president of this country was called as evil mindset by the colleague of Sanjay Jha, Ajay Kumar, who has been promoted. The tribal president was called Rashtrapatni. Tribal president of India was called as somebody having an evil mindset and was also hurled as boring and old woman. This was said by Rahul Gandhi, but no condemnation, forget any action on it. By the way, Sanjay Jha misquoted. It's a Kerala government in that instance of Rahul Gandhi being shot dead, etc. being said. It was not a BJP leader. That person, like Nikhil Jain, appears on TV debates as a Congress voice. Somebody appears as a voice. We did not defend it. We in fact condemn it. But now I tell Sanjay Jha,
okay.
Just 20 seconds more. Please, 20 seconds more. Now, 2 things I require. Sanjay Jha, here is what Rahul Gandhi has said about OBC Prime Minister of India.
जो नरेंद्र मोदी अभी भाषण दे रहा है, मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, 6 महीने बाद, 7-8 महीने बाद ये घर से नहीं निकल पाएगा. हिंदुस्तान के युवा उसको ऐसा डंडा मारे.
Now I have condemned that particular person and Kerala government should arrest that person. I am saying it. Now Sanjay Jha, you tell me that should Rahul Gandhi be arrested for this comment? Point number 1. Point number 2. And Padmaja, don't interrupt me. Please let me make this point, very important point. You know who justifies this violence? Let me quote to you the Wire article 2021. In 2009, a reporter, Jarnail Singh ki baat ho rahi hai, from Aam Aadmi Party, was rewarded and given a ticket, felt free enough to not just question a top minister, but fling a shoe in anger. No minister should be subjected to it, but see how reporters were free enough to throw questions. This is justification by Wire. Then let me tell you one more person, Rajdeep Sardesai. I quote his tweet in 2009 because they're all part of the same ecosystem. Jarnail is a remarkably calm man. Something snapped in him that day and he threw the shoe. Lost his job but not his self-esteem. These are the people who use all these instances and justify mainstream violence. Now Sanjay Jha, if you have the gumption in you, condemn Aam Aadmi Party for rewarding Jarnail Singh, condemn Rajdeep Sardesai for legitimizing his actions.
Quick response, Sanjay Jha.
Condemn Rahul Gandhi.
Nikhil Jain and Smita Prakash.
Padmaja, I can
response,
tell you,
Sanjay Jha.
and I stick to what I argued at the very beginning, that in our conversation, in our political dialogue, violence and hate has now become a regular currency. You remember that very famous minister who said, Desh ke gadaro ko dash, 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 dash. I mean, there is a complete vicious animus being spread, one community against the other, and we know which political party is usually the beneficiary. Let me leave it at that for the moment.
Okay, Smita Prakash, you know, the argument that is being given, fine, no mainstream politician is going to say anything about this advocate or Justice Gavai or say that this was a good thing, but the ecosystem is protecting it. The ecosystem is making him into a hero. In fact, you were attacked today saying, why are you even giving him a platform? You are becoming his mouthpiece because in some way you are condoning his action of throwing a shoe at the Chief Justice of India.
Okay, several questions, Padmaja, that you're asking me. Let me start with the last one. It's not just us. Every channel went to him and asked. And what is wrong in doing that? Interviewing Yasin Malik will get you Ramnath Goenka award and you will get a book deal from the top publishers. But interview somebody who did a vigilante justice and justified it. It's so wrong what he did, but to interview him is platforming him. I just don't understand the dichotomy. Just because you are too lazy to get out of your room and go and interview doesn't mean that you condemn a reporter who goes and interviews. Maybe the questions were asked in a not a very sophisticated manner, like the Oxford educated bigwigs who are sitting in these rooms and condemning us, the young journalists who actually went out in the rain and got the interview. So that is one point. The other point which you asked about, the ecosystem. One, it's plain wrong. Let me start with that aspect. It's plain wrong. What happened, hurling a shoe at somebody who's occupying a constitutional office, is absolutely wrong. It should not be normalized. But what I also want to say it is that the person who said it, he says that the reason he did it is because of that one remark that the Chief Justice made. Tell your Lord's idol to fix itself or something like that, he said, and that angered this lawyer. Now Harish Salve, whom you interviewed, a brilliant interview in which he said that these things which are said in the heat of the moment, they get reported and they become very big, and then this lawyer obviously thought it's an anti-Sanatan thing. He got very upset. What he did, he specifies in every interview he is given today, was not something he did against the judiciary or against the constitution or against caste or something. It was a personal thing for him. I'm not justifying it, but I'm just saying to this, that when the ecosystem picks it up, understand that this is this one person who just got angry and did what he had to. And why did he get angry? The reason he got angry is because of this rage algorithms, Padmaja, which we are all being fed in. It's being fed in through social media feeds. It's being fed in through rating games and things like that. These random attacks which are taking place. Why even in America, just a couple of days back, 2 days back, a judge's home was blown up. 1/3 of federal judges in America have received threats in the last year. 1/3 of judges in America. More than 500 judges have got threats in various forms, and their families have got threats in the past year. But do you see any Western media talking about democracy indices jo banate hain? Do you see any of them saying democracy is under threat, constitution is under threat in America? They never say that. But believe me, this one incident which happened is going to get blown up in the foreign media and say that Indian democracy is plummeting and there is nothing, and this marginalized communities are being attacked, minorities are being attacked. This is going to become a caste issue. It's going to become a democracy issue. It's going to have social divides, coercive action taken against various people, against, these are things. Everybody understands that what happened was wrong, that these rage algorithms are feeding into people who believe that judicial reforms are necessary, structural deficiencies exist in our judiciary, change needs to be done, but not change like
and
this.
And at the end of the day, this is one man.
In democracy.
This is one man, Smita. And Nikhil Jain, how does this one man become the face of what India is today? Whatever he did, everyone has condemned. He has done it for whatever he has been misled. He has done it for own vague reasons. How does he become a sign of what India has become today? I will answer that for you, because elections are round the corner. And this whole Dalit Khatre Mein Hai is being now milked for political gains.
Padmaja, since you have now answered the question, what do I do? I've been listening patiently for 25 minutes. I hope I can make my point.
Now you tell me if you agree with my answer.
Or anybody else. No, I don't agree with your answer. See, we may be talking about it more because the elections are around the corner, but what is being said is a fact of the Indian society today. I do agree with the points made earlier about sensationalization of court proceedings, as Mr. Salve put it, or the rage algorithms, as Ms. Smita Prakash has put it. But let's not brush aside this incident as just somebody trying to look for his 10 seconds of fame. Tomorrow, somebody would come up and justify a suicide bomber like that. He just wanted his 10 seconds of fame. We need to look at the fact that whenever an attack on a constitutional dignitary or on the parliament or on a chief justice or on the people via the means of a terror attack happens, what leads to it? See, whenever an unfortunate incident happens, everybody condemns it. Even when a terror attack happens in India, even the same.
How do you know this has led to it?
I'm coming to it, Padmaja. I'm coming to it. Let me at least make my point. Whenever an unfortunate incident happens, everybody condemns it. So whenever a terror attack happens in India, the same Pakistan who sends those terrorists to India also condemns those terror attacks. What we're talking about is how does it lead to that? What is the ecosystem? How are people radicalized into carrying out a terror attack? How is somebody radicalized into carrying out an attack in the parliament? How is somebody radicalized into throwing a shoe on the Chief Justice of India in court? This is not a gentleman having a problem with another and picking it up at a personal level. This is a lawyer throwing a shoe at the Chief Justice of India in the middle of court and hurling a religious slogan. Let me turn it around for your viewers. What if this person had thrown a shoe and said, Allahu Akbar, Islam ka matlab Islam ki tawheen nahi sahunga? My good friend Shehzad would be sitting here and blaming the Congress somehow and CPI. And
okay, Shehzad, answer that. Rakesh Kishore has been radicalized by you. He may not be your guy. You may not accept him. You may not condone him. He's been radicalized by you.
Padmaja, if I just have 30 seconds, because you've come to me, Padmaja.
Let him rebut this point. Let him rebut this point. We have the entire debate, Nikhil Jain. I'll come back to you. On the limited point of radicalization. Answer.
Padmaja, just 30-35 seconds. First of all, let me reiterate the fact that the hypocrisy and selectivism is so articulately eloquent here, where they are condemning what has happened with Gawai ji, which I also condemn, but they have not uttered a single word with what has happened with Mr. Murmu, who was beaten up and almost killed.
Condemn it.
Please, Padmaja, I would appreciate if I can make my point. I did not interrupt, and Padmaja, this show does not need interruptions. Padmaja, let me speak.
I'm condemning it.
Padmaja, please, I request your intervention.
What you want me to say, I'm condemning it.
Padmaja, I request your intervention, ma'am. I do not want to behave or look like a...
Okay, the debate is now open, but please don't interrupt.
Thank you. Padmaja, I wish Nikhil Jain's condemnation mattered as much as Rahul Gandhi's. But unfortunately, even the Congress does not take Nikhil Jain seriously enough to designate him as a serious spokesperson. So as much as Mr. Nikhil Jain condemns it on your show, Padmaja, and I thank him for that, but Rahul Gandhi has not condemned it. No, but in the Congress ecosystem, Rahul Gandhi matters a little bit more. So Nikhil, stop embarrassing yourself. Now let me complete my point without your interruptions. Point number 2. Is a tribal MP, MLA or any common person less than the Chief Justice? No. So therefore, please tell me why Congress has not come out. No answer to that. Secondly, about the radicalization part, you are the ecosystem which says आतंक का कोई धर्म नहीं होता. We to completely agree. But today, no less than Prashant Bhushan and the entire Congress ecosystem labeled this as a Brahminical act. And guess who condemned it? Not me. It was condemned by Priyanka Chaturvedi, who said, how dare you use these labels? Now I want to ask Nikhil Jain 3 specific questions. One, if Smita is guilty of taking a bite of this person, then why is Rajdeep Wire not guilty of eulogizing Jarnail Singh? Second, why has Rahul Gandhi kept his damn mouth shut about Murmu and all the other instances of violence, including Lathi Danda to Prime Minister? Second, and third, please tell me, if religion is associated with terror, then do you say that the terrorist acts have a religion? But here you are saying this is a Sanatani radicalized act.
Okay, so for now, Nikhil Jain, Sanjay Jha both want to come in with their rebuttals. Nikhil Jain, come on, you go first.
First of all, I'll make the point that I wanted to make earlier, that so far as radicalization is concerned, you posed a question to Mr. Jha that how do you say that it is the BJP or their ecosystem that have radicalized it? Open Twitter and look at the posts made by Op India, Nupur Sharma or whoever it is that runs Op India, and Mr. Sinha, the 3 blue-eyed boys of the BJP. They were trying to...
It's like saying if we open Twitter and see what Wire and Maktoub media is writing, are we going to start attributing that Nikhil Jain to what the Congress or AIMIM or JDU or RJD is thinking? I mean, this makes absolutely no sense, Nikhil Jain. Since when are you going to start attributing what publications are writing to parties?
What did the BJP do when the gas attack happened in the parliament? What did the BJP do when the CAA protests were happening? What does the BJP do when pretty much any protest happens? They somehow link it to the Congress or some of the other political party. The spokespersons are shouting in news debates at the top of their voices.
Today, if the Chief Justice of India wants to frame charges, wants to file charges against this man, he will be arrested. The only reason he has not been arrested is not because anybody is protecting him, but because the CJI said he is hungry for headlines. I do not want anyone to pay attention. Unfortunately, you are ignoring the Chief Justice of India and making this man into some kind of face of what India stands for in 2025. That is the irony. You are ignoring the very man who you are claiming to protect today.
No. Padmaja, I am nowhere saying that this man stands for what India stands today. I am saying that this man is a symptom of the kind of hate that is being spewed by the BJP ecosystem in the country, where some lawyer can have the audacity through a shoe.
Smita Prakash, is this the BJP ecosystem? Many publications, online portals are being quoted saying, look, there are YouTubers, influencers who are picked up. This is all the BJP ecosystem.
Yeah, so now what is happening about this ecosystem talk? Mr. Harish Salve also said that there are these YouTubers and there are these social media reporters who are there in the court and they are misinterpreting. Now it all becomes whether the court reporters are subject to the same kind of firewalls which journalists from organizations are, or are they social media reporters who don't have those firewalls and they are reporting from the courtroom all kinds of things where clickbait headlines and those kind of things are happening. Now, because the algorithms are such that these clickbait headlines get more clicks means more readers, which means editors like it. If editors like it, that means your rage is building up, you're getting advertising. So the entire models are built around this. So who's benefiting?
Do you agree that all of these so-called right-wing portals have BJP's backing? They are saying all the things.
Who are building up rage and vilifying every institution. Padmaja, just give me a couple of seconds. Whether it is the media, whether it is industrialists, whether it is legislators, every institution today are these revolutionaries are building up all this. They want to overthrow all of us. Everybody has to be overthrown right now because these institutions don't serve the country well, is what these people are saying. They are building into this rage. So they are like saying that these democracy has not been served by it. I beg to differ. I think that there are flaws in our system, whether media, judiciary, industrialists, legislators, all of us, the police, the judiciary, everybody, there are flaws in it. Those need to be rectified, but not overthrown. So all of us have to be vigilant for that. Not vigilante justice, but vigilant against these people who want to overthrow every institution in this country.
Just 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds, Padmaja, before you go to Sanjay.
Padmaja,
just 10 seconds.
No,
just 10 seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds. Shahzad Poonawala.
Padmaja.
I'm coming to you, Sanjay Jha. 10 seconds only.
What some publication or random Twitter handle writes is attributed to the BJP, despite the Prime Minister saying in no uncategorical terms that we consider this reprehensible. But I have shown you two instances. Rahul Gandhi himself has said Lathi Dande Marenge. No answer to that about an OBC Prime Minister, about a Prime Minister who holds a constitutional position. And secondly, Mr. Murmu, I think Smita ji and Padmaja ji, please declare that BJP people are not human beings. आप declare कर लो channel पे. ये आदमी का सिर फटा हुआ है. This man was in hospital, is in hospital. Not a single word has been said even out of cosmetic condemnation by this Rahul Gandhi. And
there are 2 points I wish to make.
About tribal.
I thought you gave him 10 seconds. He's carried on for 45. Anyway, Padmaja, let me come to the point.
Yeah, Sanjay Jha, your Sassoon has carried on for a very long time as well. You remember that, right?
Now, here is the point, which nobody can deny. It's out there in the public domain, and your viewers should know that under the BJP administration, under the Modi government, India is now seen as a misinformation and disinformation capital of the world. So it is very rich of an editor of an agency here lecturing us on social media ethics, because we know that nobody actually has been above reproach, including the alleged agency. Second point. Can I carry on without an interruption, please? The second point, there was this ridiculous and absurd...
Because you made a specific comment, I think you have the right to respond to that.
Information is something that you spread night after night on channel after channel.
Let me finish here. I mean, let's have a fair debate here, okay? My point is very simple. She made a statement that in America...
No, you're unfair.
...have been threatened, but nobody is talking about the death of democracy like in India. Really? I mean, be better informed, ma'am. Don't spread fake news here. America is today no longer being called a full democracy. It's being called a flawed democracy that is heading towards autocracy. Nobody is being spared because of the violence or the hate or the bigotry or the suppression or the authoritarianism that is going on. So let's not try and be clever by half. Let's be responsible. And the truth is, if the Chief Justice has been attacked, I think it's a serious matter. Let's not try and treat it as just another...
You were the only clever one on the panel, is it?
Padmaja, Smita, just 10 seconds.
Stop
Padmaja ji,
labeling everybody.
Smita, just 10
Stop
seconds.
labeling everybody.
Smita ji,
from
just 10
the pulpits
seconds.
that you occupy every night. Stop it.
Smita ji,
You are
just
the
10
one who
seconds.
spreads fake
Just
news
calling a
on
spade a
channel after
spade.
channel.
Like-
Padmaja, may I
And
just
don't
come
even
in?
know, you're not even a news person.
Padmaja,
you're
just
not
10
even
seconds.
a spokesperson. And here you sit and give us gyan every
10
night
seconds.
on how we
Padmaja.
should do our jobs.
Padmaja, just 10 seconds. The irony is that the person preaching,
Shahzad.
the irony is, Smita, the person preaching to us about democracy is a person who's been suspended for 3-4 years because he
That
wrote
is
one
irrelevant,
article against
Shahzad.
Rahul.
Please don't waste your
He
time.
wrote, Padmaja, can I please complete?
But
The
that's
irony
irrelevant.
is that democracy.
I have no problem with it. Why
Padmaja,
don't-
please, can you please let me do this without being interrupted? Thank you. The irony is that Smita is being lectured about democracy by a guy who wrote one article against Rahul after holding his shoes for 10-15 years and got suspended and continues to be suspended.
Rahul.
Even Udit Raj has a place in Congress but not Sanjay Jha. Secondly, to Sanjay Jha's lack of comprehension skills, if Smita is your guilty factor and problem here, can you please have the gumption to tell me Rahul Gandhi called for the Prime Minister to be beaten up and lynched in public? Do you have a mouth to use to make sense sometimes and take a stand on that? Do you have a mouth to open and take a stand on how Mamata Banerjee justified Kharge
Sanjay Jha.
Murmu being beaten up? Or do you have the mouth to open your
Shehzad.
mouth and take a stand on the
Shehzad.
kind of language the Congress uses against the Prime Minister's mother and Prime Minister routinely?
Shehzad.
Can you
Shehzad,
use your mouth for
Shehzad,
something
Shehzad,
useful?
let me just refresh your memory. In 2024, when this very distinguished gentleman was talking about somebody will steal your Mangal Sutra and your bhais, which community was he actually targeting towards? Would you like
Which
to tell
community
the
did you
people here?
think?
No, you tell me.
No, which community?
You tell me.
He spoke about
When he
invaders.
talked
Are
about
invaders
Mujra,
are
who
your
was he
community?
talking about?
Invaders
When he
are your
talked about
community.
mutton and machli, who was he talking
आप
about?
invaders को अपनी
The
community
highest
मानते हो
office
क्या?
of the land, my dear
आप
friend.
घुसपैठियों को अपना
The
मानते हो
highest
क्या?
office of the land. Come on, you know it. I know what you have tweeted about Mr. Modi and the RSS. and the
you
BJP
can
before.
please go and
I
remove
know
what
that
I've
you
tweeted,
actually
Baba.
are
You have no
unhappy
other
with the
work. You're so
BJP.
jobless.
I know you will join
Sitting
the
in your
Congress
South
in the
Bombay
next 6
cocoon.
to a year.
That the only thing you
that.
can do is to look 10 years before. But please tell me today, what is your stand on Rahul? What is your stand on Murmu? And rather than taking pot shots at Smita Prakash, tell us what you think about your
not
friend
taking pot
Rajdeep,
shots
to whom
at
you sold your
anybody. I'm
company.
generally
Rajdeep Sardesai justified Jarnail Singh. What do you think about Rajdeep Sardesai? Do you have a mouth to open and speak? Do you have the
Well,
gumption
I
to speak
asked
about
you
the
several
wire?
questions.
Do you have the gumption
I
to
asked
speak
you
about the
questions
wire?
of Rajdeep
You are a
Sardesai,
coward of the
but
first
the
order
most
who can do nothing
powerful
better
voice
than
in the
take pot shots
country.
and snide remarks
Don't compare
at people.
apples and oranges.
That's all you do.
Shehzad. Don't compare apples and oranges.
Yeah.
No,
The only apple and
Messaging
orange
is
I'm
coming from the
comparing
highest
is
office in
your
the land.
sense of
Okay,
intelligence and your sense of
Listen,
logic.
you know,
That's
I
the apple and
I
orange.
think whether this is a climate that has been created or it is a political atmosphere that is deliberately being drummed up will be very, very apparent to people. I just want to lead out with one image today. You know, we had Tejasvi Yadav react to what happened to the CJI, saying that this is an attack not just because of him being the Chief Justice, but because of the community he comes from. And then Rajesh Ram, who is the Congress president in Bihar, actually burst into tears. He got choked up. Now, I respect the feelings of the gentleman, but tell me it's only a coincidence that at a time when you have the elections just a month away, less than a month away, suddenly this kind of issue gets currency. An absolute nobody decides to throw a shoe at the Chief Justice, and it becomes about a wholesale attack, a climate of repression against an entire community, about how Dalits are being attacked, are being vilified, are under some kind of siege in India. Are you actually saying that this is a mere coincidence or it is a political environment that is being created? I will leave it to your wisdom. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, Smita Prakash, for joining me. One man's outburst in court has triggered these questions far bigger than the act itself. As the dust settles, what's left is a mix of legal, political, and social debate, all now a part of a much larger conversation and, unfortunately, controversy. Quick break.
Pro, most stunning true color pro grade camera. Motorola Edge 60 Pro, the true flagship killer.
Co-presented by
Motorola Edge 60 Pro. Grab Motorola Edge 60 Pro today.
Studio partner Schneider Electric. Smart Home Solutions.
Tata Capital Limited, the flagship financial services company of the Tata Group, an upper-layer non-banking financial company with a comprehensive suite of 25-plus lending products as of June 30th, 2025, catering to a diverse customer base. Now makes an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each. The 100% book-build offer being offered in a price band of 310 to 326 rupees per equity share. Opens October 6th, closes October 8th, 2025. For risk factors and details, refer to the red herring prospectus.
आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया है।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
माँ भी हमेशा पीमार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी। ये आपके लिए।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
P-Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
एंटनी, अपना गाड़ी कब वापस आएगा?
जल्दी आएगा पापा। सच बोल दे, लॉटरी के चक्कर में कार बेच दिया। एक बार लॉटरी लगेगा ना? नहीं लगेगा एंथनी। स्टॉप बीइंग अ क्विक मनी एडिक्ट। शो सम करेज मैन एंड डू द राइट थिंग। SIP करो, नया फ्यूचर स्टार्ट करो। म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
मम्मी ने एसी ऑफ करने को बोला था, मैं भूल गया। प्लीज एसी ऑफ कर दो। अरे जब हम घर से दूर जाते हैं तो एसी अपने आप ही ऑफ हो जाता है।
Automatically turn appliances on or off based on your location with Wiser Home Automation. Bring home the smart.
Tata Capital Limited, the flagship financial services company of the Tata Group, an upper-layer non-banking financial company with a comprehensive suite of 25-plus lending products as of June 30th, 2025, catering to a diverse customer base. Now makes an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each. The 100% book-build offer being offered in a price band of 310 to 326 rupees per equity share. Opens October 6th, closes October 8th, 2025. For risk factors and details, refer to the red herring prospectus.
सुन, यहाँ आजा। सेम फ्लोर पे मस्त फ्लैट है।
विला है तो बता यार। विला? यहाँ फेक मार्केट टिप्स फॉलो करने से घर बिकने वाला है। रिकवर कर लूंगा मैं। स्टॉप बीइंग अ क्विक मनी एडिक्ट। थोड़ा करेज दिखाओ। एंड डू द राइट थिंग। SIP करो, नया फ्यूचर स्टार्ट करो। म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
डॉक्टर, पोल्यूशन बहुत बढ़ गया है। पोल्यूशन बिल्कुल ठीक है। वो देखिए, आप आइसक्रीम बहुत खा रहे हैं। वैसे आप फ्रिज वाली चॉकलेट खा सकते हैं।
Monitor your home's air quality with Miluzita switches. Bring home the smart.
Tata Capital Limited, the flagship financial services company of the Tata Group, an upper-layer non-banking financial company with a comprehensive suite of 25-plus lending products as of June 30th, 2025, catering to a diverse customer base. Now makes an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each. The 100% book-build offer being offered in a price band of 310 to 326 rupees per equity share. Opens October 6th, closes October 8th, 2025. For risk factors and details, refer to the red herring prospectus.
Welcome back. Some of the other big stories of the day. The death count from children who were given the cold rift cough syrup has risen to 19 in Madhya Pradesh, with 2 more children dying during treatment. 9 more children are on life support. In a stunning twist in the Dharmsthala case, Sujata, the woman who claimed her daughter went missing, has confessed it was all a lie. She has revealed that a YouTuber pushed her to fabricate the story over a property dispute. The woman says that those who provoked her have now abandoned her after she went public with her demands. Prime Minister Modi wished Russian President Vladimir Putin on his 73rd birthday over the phone, and both leaders reaffirmed their commitment to further deepen the strategic partnership between the two countries. This a week after Putin confirmed he will travel to India in early December for the next annual summit with the Prime Minister of India. That's it then with me on today's edition of The Buck Stops Here. I will see you at the same time tomorrow.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro, most stunning true color pro grade camera. Motorola Edge 60 Pro, the true flagship killer.
माँ भी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
PMARC, the mustard specialist since 1933.
Via always asks me,
Why do you have to go so early?
because flights don't only start in the sky, beta. They start with us, on the ground. We go through every weather update and every part of the aircraft and every paper again and again. And we keep training, so we only get better at our job. This uniform, it's not just a job. It's a promise. A promise I make to every passenger and her.
Hi, Biu.
Did you make that?
Wait for you so that you don't forget me.
Air India.
Tata Capital Limited, the flagship financial services company of the Tata Group, an upper-layer non-banking financial company with a comprehensive suite of 25-plus lending products as of June 30th, 2025, catering to a diverse customer base, now makes an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each. The 100% book-built offer being offered in a price band of 310 to 326 rupees per equity share. Opens October 6th, closes October 8th, 2025. For risk factors and details, refer to the red herring prospectus.
ऑफ करने को बोला था, मैं भूल गया। प्लीज एसी ऑफ कर दो। अरे जब हम घर से दूर जाते हैं तो एसी अपने आप ही ऑफ हो जाता है। मैं बच गया।
Automatically turn appliances on or off based on your location with Wiser Home Automation. Bring home the smart.
आइसलैंड ट्रिप के लिए स्वेटर वहीं से ले लेंगे ना?
हाँ। क्या? हाँ बता, ट्रिप इज कैंसिल्ड। कि सारे पैसे तो गैम्बलिंग एंड बेटिंग में गए। नहीं, I'll win. Never. Stop being a quick money addict. Show some courage and do the right thing. SIP करो, नया फ्यूचर स्टार्ट करो। म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
Tata Capital Limited, the flagship financial services company of the Tata Group, an upper-layer non-banking financial company with a comprehensive suite of 25-plus lending products as of June 30th, 2025, catering to a diverse customer base, now makes an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each. The 100% book-built offer being offered in a price band of 310 to 326 rupees per equity share. Opens October 6th, closes October 8th, 2025. For risk factors and details, refer to the red herring prospectus.
पापा इससे पहले जो चलाई थी वही ले ले।
चलती बढ़िया है। कुछ कह रहे थे?
नहीं, इनकी सर्विस में डाउट था ना।
सर, ओवर 300 टच पॉइंट्स, 170 सेंसिटीज।
पर इन्हें सिर्फ 25 ही साल हुए हैं।
तुमसे तो ज्यादा ही है।
Skoda Fan Fest is live. Walk in today for a test drive and avail exciting benefits.
Skoda. लाइट ऑन हुई? आपको कैसे पता कि 2 का टेबल बोलने से लाइट ऑन हो जाती है? सीक्रेट है। ओह, चलो अच्छा इसे वापस रख गया। 2 1 2 2 2 4।
Motion sensing foot lamps by Miluzita. Bring home the smart.
Tata Capital Limited, the flagship financial services company of the Tata Group, an upper-layer non-banking financial company with a comprehensive suite of 25-plus lending products as of June 30th, 2025, catering to a diverse customer base, now makes an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each. The 100% book-built offer being offered in a price band of 310 to 326 rupees per equity share. Opens October 6th, closes October 8th, 2025. For risk factors and details, refer to the red herring prospectus.
This is NDTV. and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Showcasing the NDTV 24/7 prime time, presented by Schneider Electric, Smart Home Solutions as studio partner.
Good evening, you're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. We'll break this bulletin with some very sad news coming in. A tragic landslide in Bilaspur in Himachal Pradesh has claimed the lives of 18 people as a bus carrying 30 passengers was buried under debris. Rescue teams from the State Disaster Relief Force and the local police have moved to the site, battling time and treacherous conditions to save survivors, to get as many people out as possible. The incident has sent shockwaves across the region. Authorities are looking at the cause and coordinating relief efforts for the victims and their families. Chief Minister Sukhbinder Singh Sukhu has expressed deep sorrow and anguish over the tragic bus mishap. The Chief Minister is in constant touch with the administration from the state capital and says that the government is helping to the best of its ability. My colleague Gurpreet Chinna joins us now. Gurpreet, this was a landslide and a bus was trapped under it, as we understand. Give us the details.
Well, yes, this was a massive landslide which has been taken place because of the continuous rain in Himachal Pradesh. For the last 2 days, we have seen multiple alerts had been given to the multiple administration and specifically the local authorities. But this tragedy which has been taken place in district Bilaspur, we have seen when this private bus was traveling near this district Bilaspur, suddenly there was a massive landslide which has been taken place and it has already killed 18 people. 18 passengers have already lost their life. 3 people have already been rescued alive. Multiple rescue operations are already underway and they are trying to continue this rescue operation so that more lives could be saved from the this tragedy which has been taken place. As of now, we have seen the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh. He has already shown the concern and he has already extended all the help to the local administration so that this rescue operation should be continued. We have seen even this bus had already been buried under this debris when this landslide had been taken place. So let's see that how this rescue operation will be continued. But as of now, what we have seen and what we have learned from Himachal Pradesh government, around 18 people have already lost life and 3 people they were able to rescued alive from
all
this.
Right, Gurpreet, we'll track this very, very closely indeed. This is a terrible, terrible event which has taken place as a result of a bus being trapped under this landslide. We're going to move on now to the big focus on Left, Right and Centre this evening. Exactly 2 years ago, Hamas struck Israel in a horrific attack, one of the worst known terrorist attacks of all time. More than 1,200 people lost their lives. But what happened after that, with the situation in Gaza becoming absolutely critical, has stunned many across the region, across the world. The loss of life has been absolutely horrific. And today, 2 years after the attack which took place on Israel, what we are now, you're actually seeing shots of that. What we want to do at this stage is go through an entire sequence of events of what happened. So the Israel-Hamas war, a timeline of the horror, it began on the 7th of October 2023. Hamas launched a surprise attack. Hamas militants breached Israel's border, killing 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and taking 251 hostages. This sparked the war. On the 8th of October, Hezbollah joined the conflict with cross-border attacks from the north, from Lebanon in solidarity with Hamas. Hezbollah launched rockets at Israeli positions to the north. Israel was then under attack from multiple fronts. On the 9th of October 2023, Israel imposed a total siege on Gaza, with the defense minister ordering a complete blockade. On the 13th of October 2023, there was a mass evacuation order in northern Gaza, and here's where things started getting terrible for people on the ground, with Israel issuing orders for over 1 million Palestinians to flee south as ground preparations intensified, with clear concerns about the humanitarian crisis emerging even then. On the 27th of October 2023, Israel began its ground invasion of Gaza. And this followed intense airstrikes. You can see the impact of that. You've seen videos of that over the years as well. Israeli forces entered northern Gaza to dismantle the terror infrastructure of Hamas. It resulted in the displacement of over 1 million residents of the Gaza Strip. On the 24th of November to the 1st of December 2023, there was a sense of hope. There was a temporary ceasefire and a hostage exchange. This was a week-long truce which saw the release of 105 hostages by Hamas in exchange for 240 Palestinian prisoners alongside increased aid to Gaza. On the 22nd of January 2024 was the deadliest day for Israel's defense forces. An explosive device resulted in the death of 21 Israeli soldiers in central Gaza, which has been the highest single-day loss for Israel since the ground offensive began. These are in fact the soldiers who lost their lives. On the 29th of February, Gaza's death toll surpassed 30,000. Now, the Hamas-run health ministry reported that 30,000 Palestinian deaths had taken place, 30,000. Now, Israel contests these numbers, but the United Nations does say that the humanitarian loss, the loss of lives, has been catastrophic. In May 2024, last year, Israel launched the Rafah offensive. Their forces entered Rafah in southern Gaza, displacing over 1 million people and drawing international condemnation for humanitarian impacts. Israel all along said that their goal, their role was in fact measured. But then as a result of the conflict, remember with Lebanon in the north as well, between the 17th and 18th of September 2024, the pagers of Hezbollah leaders and their walkie-talkie units started exploding. This was an example of Israeli sabotage, causing thousands of devices used by Hezbollah members to detonate across Lebanon and Syria. It resulted in the death of at least 32, with injuries to 3,000, and that clearly escalated the conflict to the north with Lebanon. That's where Hezbollah is. And Israel didn't let up. On the 27th of September last year, there was the assassination of the Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. An Israeli airstrike on Hezbollah's Beirut headquarters took place as well. This was in fact a turning point in Israel's war with the Hezbollah. On the 1st of October, Israel launched a ground invasion of southern Lebanon. Their soldiers entered Lebanon to target Hezbollah infrastructure. On the 16th of October last year, there was the death of the Hamas leader. So we are now talking once again about Hamas in the south. Yahya Sinwar, Israeli forces killed him. And they've said, Israel all along, that he was the architect, this man, of the attack on Israel in the first instance. This took place in a shootout in Rafah. This was a huge blow to the leadership of Hamas. On the 26th of November last year, there was a ceasefire agreement. This was a US-brokered truce which ended 14 months of Israel-Hezbollah fighting. This required Hezbollah's withdrawal south of the Litani River and an Israeli pullback from Lebanon through violations did, of course, persist after that as well. But then let's move on to this year. On the 15th of January, there was a ceasefire agreement which was announced in Gaza. US-led negotiations with Qatar and Egypt. They brokered a truce leading to a hostage release and a prisoner exchange. And this, in a sense, paused the 15-month war. But it came right after that, because on the 1st of March 2025, the first phase of the Gaza ceasefire expired. And negotiations stalled as Hamas rejected Israel's extension proposal for further releases of hostages. Israel then cut aid to Gaza as leverage, and that heightened tensions. On the 12th of June this year, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion against Iran. So this was another front in the war that Israel faced. There was Hamas in the Gaza Strip, there was Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Iran as well. It was a broader escalation. Israel struck Iranian nuclear and military sites. It was a huge attack which took place. Remember, Israel had faced missile attacks from Iran earlier on. They also targeted Hamas and Hezbollah leaders, and they killed key leaders in the Iranian military. On the 20th of August this year, Israel launched their Gaza City offensive. They called it Operation Gideon's Chariots 2 to seize Gaza City from the control of the Hamas. They destroyed 1,250 buildings. By this stage, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza getting out of control. And now, on the 4th of October, the IDF has in fact halted the Gaza City offensive amidst ceasefire talks following Hamas's partial agreement to Donald Trump's plan. Israel pauses its operations. There are talks which are going on. And I think the key point over here is that there is a sense that finally, after 2 years of intense fighting, there may be a prospect of peace. I'm joined now by Dr. Lauren Dagon-Amos, a foreign and security policy expert at Bar Ilan University in Israel, Dr. Omair Anas, an assistant professor in Ankara's Yildirim Beyazit University, Dr. James Dorsey and Professor Andrew Latham also with us. Dr. Lauren Dagon-Amos, let me come to you first. Is it your sense, ma'am, that the peace process that we are now talking about, the Trump sort of effort, and all the points which have been listed might result in something lasting?
Sir, first of all, I just want to say that my heart goes to the victims of this accident that you mentioned before the interview. And thank you so much for having me. And by saying that, I just saw some reports from Sharm el-Sheikh about the negotiation. I really hope so that all the sides of this conflict will want to end this, not the conflict, but this situation, this long situation during these 2 years. It's very difficult for us and probably for the people in Gaza. I think that Trump really wants to end this situation, but I'm not feeling that Hamas and Qatar have the ability to do it.
All right, I'm just going to pause for a moment with some breaking news coming in, which I'm just going to read out at this stage. I will come back to this discussion if all my guests can be with me. We've got some information coming in from the External Affairs Ministry now of the Indian Embassy in Kiev, Ukraine, which is looking into reports that an Indian national who was fighting for the Russians has been captured by Ukrainian forces. Sources indicate that the Indian mission in Kiev is ascertaining the veracity of the report. It's not yet received any formal communication from the Ukrainian side in this regard. So that's an important development which we will keep track of. India has all along advised our nationals not to fight in the Russian forces, but despite that, there are people who have actually gone through. We've appealed to Russia to let them come back, but there appears to be reports now, fairly strong reports of some Indian nationals, at least one, having been captured by Ukrainian forces. But I want to go back to the discussion at hand, and let me ask Dr. Omair Anas, of all the points mentioned by Donald Trump in the peace proposal, is there anything which you find would be very difficult to implement?
Thank you very much for having me. I don't think that Trump's peace plan is not achievable. However, the most problematic thing is that Israel has been offered many chances for peace. We have to remember that Oslo Accord has been offered, then peace, Camp David came, Arab peace plan has also been given to Israelis. But I think that if we see this entire unfortunate tragedy, the reality is that 80% of Palestinian land has been occupied. 50% population of Palestine is living as refugees. And the president of Palestine in West Bank is not powerful, even like a municipality head. Palestinians cannot even build their hospitals, schools, they cannot run banks, they cannot run a normal economy. And this all happened before the 7th October. So Palestinians are effectively living like the life of prisoners in the most, the biggest open prisoner in the Middle East or in the world. In such a frustrating situation, the growth of extremist ideologies or organizations like Hamas cannot be surprising for anyone. My fear is that the rise of radical ideologies and fundamentalist ideologies led by Netanyahu, I think that it will be extremely difficult for Israel to accept any peace plan offered by Donald Trump or anyone else. So even though the Arab side is showing so much flexibility at this time, and they have convinced Hamas to withdraw from any future settlement in Gaza. So Hamas has shown the willingness to withdraw from future administration of Palestine. And the next government or next administration in Gaza will be according to the peace plan of Trump, which he has laid down in his 20
my next
plan.
question to Dr. James Dorsey. Just hold on one sec, sir. I just want to keep the strike rotating. Dr. Dorsey, I think that the entire point on Hamas's disarmament and exclusion, and that Hamas is required to fully disarm, lay down weapons, and be excluded from the future governance role in Gaza. In as much as they say that they want to sort of get this achieved, do you see this as being perhaps the biggest potential stumbling block?
I think we've got to be clear on what we have on the table and what we do not have. We have a set of principles, a set of objectives. We don't have terms of implementation. We don't have mechanisms of implementation. So that is really where a lot of the friction points are. What we've seen over the last 24 to 36 hours is essentially the Qataris and the Egyptians negotiating with Hamas. The Israelis and the Americans are on the sidelines. And essentially what they're saying is, we'll come in if Hamas concedes. The likelihood that Hamas is going to concede, with other words, release all of the hostages without clear definition on an end to the terms of an end to the war and a complete Israeli withdrawal, perhaps in phases, these negotiations are unlikely to go anywhere.
Professor Latham, is it your sense now that given the massive humanitarian crisis on the ground in Gaza, and the fact that, it's a question of survival now, that Hamas essentially doesn't have any option but to end this, because frankly, Hamas as a fighting force, even at this juncture, it's not much. There's not much left of it as a fighting force at all.
No, and it's under a lot of pressure from the Arab states in the region to make these concessions. They all have their own national interests at play, and they're all pursuing them. And right now, they align with the Netanyahu government, and we can talk about the coalition and how unstable that might be. But to answer your question directly, it boils down to this. Is Hamas going to voluntarily give up the leverage it has from the hostages and the dead bodies of the hostages? Is it going to voluntarily disarm in a verifiable way? And is it going to vote itself out of existence? And I would suggest that maybe the first one is a possibility. The second one strikes me as an impossibility. And the third one is beyond the realm of even considering it as a possibility. I just don't see this organization, even under pressure from its compatriots in the region, voluntarily disbanding itself and disappearing as a player on the stage. I'm not aware of many organizations in all of human history that have done that voluntarily. So that's a huge stumbling block. The other stumbling block, of course, is that the Israeli coalition is unstable, and the far right in that coalition is opposed to this peace plan. So that's a problem as well. And then in the very short term, Donald Trump has given deadlines, and of course they can't be met because Israel and Palestinians can't agree on which Palestinian prisoners will be released, for example. That hasn't been done yet, so the timelines are kind of unrealistic. One can look at this and be optimistic and hopeful, or one can look at this and be guardedly optimistic and perhaps a little bit cautious about predicting its success.
Dr. Amos, at this juncture, if within a finite period of time, by which I mean days, if not just a handful of weeks, there isn't a full surrender of Hamas, do you expect Israel to go into areas it's not completely and be an occupation force for the foreseeable future?
I think this deal make Netanyahu difficult times, and the people in Israel really want to go to elections. So this coalition, the majority people in Israel doesn't want this coalition these days. So after the hostages will come back home, I think everyone will want to go to election, and the situation in Gaza will be different, and we don't want to occupy Gaza, and we don't want to rule the Palestinian. We don't want to be the authoritarian over there. I think the deal now is that there is going to be an international community that will rule in Gaza, and I really hope that's what's going to be.
Dr. Anas, what is the immediate situation in terms of there have been concerns about a famine in Gaza. The Israeli government, of course, has denied that. But in terms of the humanitarian situation on the ground, is there any stabilization in the last 1 month?
From what I heard, there is nothing.
Just half a sec. That question is to Dr. Omer Anas.
Yeah, Gaza is one of the biggest disasters, man-made disasters. Every image, even as per Israeli standard, Israeli army has been releasing footages after footage about Gaza. So any person, any organization can imagine the level of destruction and the level of suffering of the people in Gaza. So what I see is that there is no we can easily understand what is going on in Gaza, and Gaza needs a peace right now, immediately. However, for example, to make an excuse on behalf of, for example, for Hamas, we have been saying that Hamas has total 30,000 of fighters of Al-Qassam brigade. And a number of Palestinians who have been killed in this conflict is, according to Israeli sources, are 70,000. And almost 200,000 Palestinians have been injured. Thousands of homes have been destroyed. So we are still surprised. How can we say that Hamas is still there? So in my assessment, Hamas has been effectively defeated. And if there are some elements of Hamas which are still there, they are no longer holding any influence even on the population. We have seen so many anti-Hamas.
All right. So in your opinion, Hamas is not there as a valid force. Dr. Dorsey, this question is hypothetical in a sense because it's not all over in terms of the fighting. We hope it ends very soon. Who's going to rebuild Gaza? How are all of these people going to get their homes back?
Well, that's going to very much depend on how these negotiations go. It's highly unlikely that the Arab states will be willing to cooperate in an operation which does not lead to a complete Israeli withdrawal and which does not involve a credible pathway to a Palestinian state. They will not risk being seen as doing the dirty work of Israel, if you wish. So to what degree the Gulf states are going to be willing to fund the reconstruction, and ultimately a significant chunk of the cost of reconstruction is going to have to come from the Gulf states, is going to depend on what kind of a deal you cut.
All right. Well, we're out of time. We'll leave it over there. Hopefully the fighting ends and there can be a lasting peace. But the contours of that peace, these are just contours. The specifics still need to be agreed upon. We'll leave it there. Thank you all very much for being with us. Just a couple of days back, couple of years back, to be specific, there was the devastating attack of Hamas on Israel. 1,200 lives lost. But after that, what we saw was absolutely horrific. The number of people lost on the ground in Gaza, upwards, some suggest, to 50,000. These are numbers that Israel rejects. But I think there is no dearth of understanding or recognition that the humanitarian crisis is critical and the need for peace is important. How viable is Hamas as a fighting force still? Is it inevitable that they stop at this juncture and that there can be a pathway to peace? But the larger question of who rebuilds, that remains unanswered. We leave it there. Thanks very much for being with us.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro, most stunning true color pro grade camera. Motorola Edge 60 Pro, the true flagship killer.
Studio partner Schneider Electric Smart Home Solutions.
आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया है।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
माँ भी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी। ये आपके लिए।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
P-Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
सरसों से सरसों।
Inspired by flowers. Bloom series fans from Usha. 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 Inspired by flowers. Bloom series fans from Usha.
माँ भी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
P-Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
सरसों से सरसों।
Tata Capital Limited, the flagship financial services company of the Tata Group, an upper-layer non-banking financial company with a comprehensive suite of 25-plus lending products as of June 30th, 2025, catering to a diverse customer base. Now makes an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each. The 100% book-built offer being offered in a price band of 310 to 326 rupees per equity share. Opens October 6th, closes October 8th, 2025. For risk factors and details, refer to the red herring prospectus.
मम्मी ने एसी ऑफ करने को बोला था, मैं भूल गया। प्लीज एसी ऑफ कर दो। अरे जब हम घर से दूर जाते हैं तो एसी अपने आप ही ऑफ हो जाता है। मैं बच गया।
Automatically turn appliances on or off based on your location with Wiser Home Automation. Bring home the smart.
People tell me I've been doing this for more than a decade. Honestly, I never kept track. What I do remember are the moments, standing on the ground, watching an aircraft I worked on take off. Every day, there are hundreds of us in uniform, making sure every plane is safe. We inspect each aircraft with our own hands, from the small bolts to the giant engines, so that when it's your time to fly, you can trust the aircraft is ready. And every single time it takes off, I still feel that same rush of wonder I did as a boy at the fence. Air India.
Tata Capital Limited, the flagship financial services company of the Tata Group, an upper-layer non-banking financial company with a comprehensive suite of 25-plus lending products as of June 30th, 2025, catering to a diverse customer base. Now makes an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each. The 100% book-built offer being offered in a price band of 310 to 326 rupees per equity share. Opens October 6th, closes October 8th, 2025. For risk factors and details, refer to the red herring prospectus.
Dadu, do you want to upgrade to business class?
Why not? Great flying, Captain.
Now go 449 kilometers in a single charge. MG Windsor EV Pro. Live business class.
Cadini. It's about how you make every gain yours. Cadini, Italy. The power of presence. Luxury fabrics, perfumes and accessories.
Tata Capital Limited, the flagship financial services company of the Tata Group, an upper-layer non-banking financial company with a comprehensive suite of 25-plus lending products as of June 30th, 2025, catering to a diverse customer base. Now makes an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each. The 100% book-built offer being offered in a price band of 310 to 326 rupees per equity share. Opens October 6th, closes October 8th, 2025. For risk factors and details, refer to the red herring prospectus.
I want to soar above the skies and fulfill my responsibilities with LIC. Paid your LIC premium? On time. दिल की सुनो, LIC चुनो.
LIC, हर पल आपके साथ.
पापा इससे पहले जो चलाई थी वही ले ले.
चलती बढ़िया है. कुछ कह रहे थे?
नहीं, इनकी सर्विस में डाउट था ना.
सर, ओवर 300 टच पॉइंट्स, 170 cities.
पर इन्हें सिर्फ 25 ही साल हुए हैं.
तुमसे तो ज्यादा ही है.
Skoda Fan Fest is live. Walk in today for a test drive and avail exciting benefits.
Skoda. लाइट ऑन हुई? आपको कैसे पता कि 2 का टेबल बोलने से लाइट ऑन हो जाती है? सीक्रेट है. ओह, चलो अच्छा इसे वापस रख गया. 2 1 2 2 2 4.
Motion sensing foot lamps by Miluzita. Bring home the smart.
Tata Capital Limited, the flagship financial services company of the Tata Group, an upper-layer non-banking financial company with a comprehensive suite of 25-plus lending products as of June 30th, 2025, catering to a diverse customer base. Now makes an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each. The 100% book-built offer being offered in a price band of 310 to 326 rupees per equity share. Opens October 6th, closes October 8th, 2025. For risk factors and details, refer to the red herring prospectus.
Showcasing the NDTV 24/7 prime time, presented by Schneider Electric, Smart Home Solutions as studio partner.
Welcome. You're watching News Night with me, Raisha Sehgal. It has been a power-packed day today from the 2-year anniversary of the Israel-Hamas war. Reports suggest that at least 67,000 Palestinians have died in Gaza since the war started. While indirect talks are underway, US President Donald Trump is now, perhaps he's sounding optimistic and says that a deal can be carved out. The question we ask is, will the war come to an end? Not just that, from India, we'll tell you about how at least 18 people have died in Himachal Pradesh's Bilaspur in a bus accident. Well, there's lots to unpack on the show tonight. But first, let's tell you about our top focus on News Night tonight. Now, despite securing rupees 89 lakh scholarship, that's around $100,000 to study at Columbia University, an Indian journalist was denied a US visa. What are the reasons for the denial? How stringent are US student visa vetting procedures under Trump 2.0? And what impact will this have on Indian students? We'll decode that and much more. But first, the headlines that we are tracking on Newsnight. At least 18 people have died in Himachal Pradesh's Bilaspur district after a private bus was hit by a landslide and buried under debris. Shoe thrown at CJI attacker brazens it out. CJI sister says attack a disgrace to nation, asserts must protest in constitutional manner. As battle for Bihar begins, seat-sharing talks take centre stage. Chirag Paswan meets Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Cracks appear in the INDIA bloc coalition. Congress's Udit Raj says Tejasvi is only RJD's CM face. Delhi Chief Minister bats for green crackers in the capital this Diwali. Rekha Gupta says Delhi government is a Sanatani government. All right, our top focus on Newsnight.